Keep your cool, make a plan, that's how stronger people stand. Crazy man, leave the negativity back. Listen, learn, understand, that's how we can make it last. Whoa, that's how we can make it last. Whoa. Devil's advocate.
Scrolling through the screen looking for a spark.
What's up, guys? What is up? Welcome to the live stream. Welcome to the Saturday night live stream. How you guys been? How have you guys been? All right, I have quite a few videos. Interesting ones, I think. All right. I think they will be interesting. So let's get started. Let's get started. All right. Let's get started with this one. So a little while back, I made a TikTok that got a little bit of a hate. So let's check out this TikTok. I think it's funny, right? The same people who put a whole lot of effort into prom, right? Big bars, what is up, my brother? Whole lot of creativity, whole lot of, you know, the amount of effort. These are the same people that don't put any effort into the education. These aren't valedictorians, right? These aren't straight A students. These aren't like, you know, top tier students. I'm pretty sure, right? Because when you look into these, you know, these actual schools, they have low literacy rates, right? They have low. It's like a lot of their students are very subpar, right? That's why I just find it a misuse of priorities, right? And it's systemic, right? It's family. You teach your kids what to prioritize, right? Flash, right? Glam, being show off, being an egotistical person, instead of, you know what? Priorities in education, priorities in your future. It's just funny. So I made a video being critical of how some people put so much effort into, let's say, you know, the prom stuff, that it shows how they put very little effort into actual education. So why did I say that? Why did I say that? I just recently saw this video.
So I am on my lunch break. It is, I don't know, 11:30 or something like that. And I just finished a 3-hour class. We have what's called block, and block is where first and second periods are combined for subjects.
Exactly. Big Bars know it, okay? He knows it. He's raising his kids correctly.
That need it. And so I literally broke down in the middle of class because I'm teaching seniors. These kids are leaving high school and going to college, hopefully, after they finish. We had 2 paragraphs to read, 1 sentence complete to write. I gave them the sentence stems. I basically completed the sentence for them in the model. These are 17 and 18-year-old kids, and they couldn't fill in 4 words. 4 words. I gave them the scenario. We annotated together. I gave them the answers before we even had the problem. And they couldn't do it. I don't know. I simply don't know where the problem is. This is only day 2. And I have seniors who simply cannot read and seniors who cannot write. They cannot write. They can reason. They have the ability to defend their reasoning. If it's talking to their homeboy.
Do they? Do they have the ability to defend their reasoning logically instead of emotionally? Evil Eddie, what is up, my brother? I feel him. Give the key and can't do it. This is a thing. Okay. I actually, a little while ago, we see these graduations, right? We see these over the top graduations, these kids dancing, okay, during these graduations, doing flips and all this stuff. But if you actually look into a lot of these graduations, a lot of these kids are graduating with C's and F's, with barely passing grades. You're surprised? There are actually schools that allow you to go to prom with a failing grades that would actually graduate you with failing grades. There's actually schools that do that. There's actually schools that will graduate you even if you are a failure.
But applying that to a written text, 2
I love it. I love you. I love it when you make some songs.
paragraphs. And they couldn't do it. Our young black men, our young brown men, our young black girls, and our young brown girls oh God.
You say racism is the bigger problem? A lot of these schools, other races go into these schools too. They're not coming out like this. I also went to private schools. My siblings went to private schools. I know, in my opinion, I'm assumption, but a lot, if not majority of Asian immigrants go to public schools. They don't have the money to go to private schools like that. They don't. I had so much pushback. Laughing Man, what is up, my brother? On my last video, so much pushback. An insane amount of pushback on that last video. It's like, you're being racist. You see this? Here's a black man, a black teacher, telling you what it is. Telling you how black kids are honestly illiterate, how they're not making it through. And you think that's racism? You think it's racism? Really? Let me tell you this. During COVID, my sister, you know what she did? She still continued a school structure in her home. She had to have kids each separated. School exact timing. You wake up exactly the same time. You go into these other subjects. You study. You do all stuff. You continue to. This is the problem: racism or incompetence, laziness, where parents, right? Parents are not active in their kids' lives. Parents are not putting effort into their kids' lives. And also, these kids are lazy, stupid, lazy.
I gotta say, I am so proud of
Hi, the kids know me as Miss G. They're probably on this app somewhere. And no, a lot of my students could not read. I'm gonna share with you guys something. Buckle up, I don't know, grab a drink of water, listen, put your phone down. I'm gonna share with you guys something that I've known.
Why would you put your phone down? How are you watching? Come on, you're stupid.
for a while, and it's one of the reasons why I left
I
teaching.
thought it was stupid.
No, students cannot read, and I'm going to take you back to teacher education school. So one of the classes that I took was to potentially become a reading specialist. And I remember distinctly feeling a pit in my stomach when this professor said, we don't teach phonics because there are exceptions to the rule. Like words like the don't always follow the rules, so we don't teach the rules. And I felt something deep within my soul that said, this is wrong. And everybody goes, yeah, that makes so much sense. And from that point on, that was the way of the world.
You know, the victimhood mentality, the whole making things simple mentality. You know who that affects the most? The Black community. The Black community is affected the most from this victimhood mentality, from this soft approach. When you think because someone is of a different color skin, they need an easier life, guess what that creates? More simpletons. Okay? That doesn't create excellence. That doesn't create students that will go above and beyond. Just a whole bunch of participation awards. So you want to continue this mindset of racism and victimhood? Go for it. Go for it. But guess who that affects the most? The people you want to try to bring up from the dirt.
World in about 2012, because that's when I graduated. I graduated teaching school in 2011. And she said that, and I thought, since when have exceptions made the rule? Because I was taught to read using Hooked on Phonics. We learned.
Same was I. Same as me.
Now, granted, I was homeschooled, but I was taught to read on Hooked on Phonics. I learned what diphthongs were. I learned how to blend sounds. I learned, vowel, consonant, vowel rules. First vowel is long, second vowel is silent, those sorts of things. I was exposed to vocabulary. There was no list for me growing up for words that I just needed to know, which were sight words. So we started this thing, particularly in California, where we have what's called sight words. They're not words that you actually need.
Yo, self-made. What is up, my brother? What is up?
To decode. They are words that you just have to simply memorize. I want you guys to remember back in the day, they had those commercials for My Baby Can Read. My baby could not read because my baby could not decode. My baby was simply memorizing what the letters look like together and then memorizing the word. An example of this that I often give when I am ever asked about teaching is that I had a kid read a word and he said mustard instead of mustache. Why? Because it started with M-U-S-T and that was it. There was no decoding of what the sentence was actually saying, no decoding of the word, no sounding it out, because we were told in teaching school that sounding it out is a bad thing. This is one problem. So lo and behold and lo, we have students who only learned sight words unless they were doing some sort of extra tutoring with like Kumon or Score. That was what was big when I was growing up. They never learned how to read properly. They simply just learned how to use context clues. The same thing goes for writing. There was a point, y'all, where my teacher education teachers were telling me that as long as you understood the context of the writing, as long as I as a teacher understood the writing, I should not mark them down for spelling. Because did I understand, did I comprehend, then that's all that matters. Abominable. I can't believe I drank that Kool-Aid for some years, but that was one of the things that they told us. So, as we know, writing and reading go hand in hand, right? Reading, writing, spelling, all that goes hand in hand. So if you have kids who are told that their spelling doesn't matter as long as the teacher understands, we stopped doing spelling tests. That was like, it was too.
I didn't know that. Man, spelling tests is. I'm not saying that I was like that smart when I was a kid, right? I coasted. Not trying so much. I still got B's, right? So, I'm not saying that I was any. My sisters were better than me. My sisters were better than me. They definitely put a whole lot more effort.
What about the kids who have these issues, the bean soup?
But I remember doing spelling tests, standing up in class, doing those spelling what they call, I wouldn't call them games or whatever. I guess it's spelling. It's still in front of the class kind of spelling tests.
It was all over the place in education. So this is at the elementary school level, right? That's the second problem, is that we stopped doing spelling tests. We didn't want to mark kids down if we understood the entire paper, but they had some words misspelled. We didn't want to lower their grades. The third thing, and this is, I have taught many a grade. So people are like,
this right here, I'm gonna hate to say it. You know how Charlie Kirk talked about the whole black pilot thing? Exhibit A. Do you know why Charlie Kirk said the whole black pilot thing? Because we believe, society believes, black people need a leg up. They need a leg up. They need a push. They need help. So to help them out, you have to make it easier for them. You have to bend the rules for them. You have to just, I don't know, ignore shit from teachers' mouths. So how can it be so crazy to think that they wouldn't do the same for other professions or for whatever? I'm just saying.
now elementary, I taught elementary, middle, and high school, and I taught English as.
No, I mean, yeah, I'm not saying that it's the exact same beast. Okay, what I'm saying is the idea that if you want people, if your purpose, right, your goal is for one group to succeed, it cannot be crazy, right? It can't be a crazy idea that, higher ups will do what they can to help them succeed. Now, I'm not saying that, the pilots, these black pilots are inept. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that hypothetically, a hypothetical situation where I don't really know what it takes to be a pilot, so this is only hypothetical, right? Is that okay? This black pilot gets a 98 on the test, while this other pilot gets a 99. But you know what? We need him. We need the black pilot. So here, we're gonna push you up. So we gotta make it easier for you. We gotta give you a leg up. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about necessarily, everyone is no, I'm not talking about like incompetence or necessary. I'm talking about you don't hold, right, the black community to a sense of excellence. So it will only hurt them. It will only hurt them because here's the thing, right? This right here will now hurt black students. It will hurt black students. Now you think about, so they're getting into college. How? Right? How they get in college when they can't even read and write? They can't even read and write, and they get into colleges, or they can't even read and write, and they could graduate high school. I mean,
second language. So that's what it was called back in the day, English development.
I don't think what he said was complete ignorance, because literally this is the idea, right? This is the idea of what he's saying, that when you don't hold others to the same level of degree of excellence, other people will question it. Like I just gave you this, I'm questioning how are these students graduating when they can't read and write? So you will question, right? You will now question a community of people. These are out of black teachers' mouths, saying that these students can't read and write. And yet they're graduating. These kids are graduating, going to college in some cases. So it leaves you the idea, right? I don't know, imagination, of now you're questioning the qualifications, right? Now you're questioning the qualifications.
The third thing is there is a push to integrate students who are not at reading level into mainstream classes because they don't want to segregate them. There's a whole plethora of reasons why, but that's another.
Oh, I'm saying that, illiteracy is happening across the board. I'm not saying that it's not just happening for only Black people, right? I think it's happening for across the board. But this is a thing where I kind of think, and again, I'm not, might be mistaken, but I think that it's not just Black students or professionals. This is a thing where I'm not seeing the results or the talks, right? I'm not seeing white teachers saying this. Again, could be, but I'm not seeing. I'm seeing this happening more for urban schools. I'm seeing it more happen for urban schools. So I don't know.
Video. If you want me to talk about that, that's another video. So I was teaching a standard middle school English class, and I had a student in there who was at the 1.8 reading level. What that means is he is first grade, 8 months. Now, I am not a miracle worker, but baby, my kids, their reading levels went up, okay? There was nothing I could do about this. This kid's in 8th grade. Reading level is 1.8. Everybody else in the class is 5.6, 6.0. I could do something with them. But because of this push to keep kids in classes and keep kids in mainstream classes, we have a bunch of students who are simply just falling behind. The fourth thing, we used to fail kids. We used to say, you know what? You're not ready, baby. You ain't ready. But to avoid looking like racist or looking like they were discriminatory, schools stopped holding kids back because they were noticing that some of the kids who were held back were minority students.
This is the thing where, yes, if it comes out of my mouth, it's perceived as racist. Out from a Black teacher's mouth. What are we going to say? What are we going to say? You see how if we hold Black students back, it's racist. Instead of, you know what, holding them to the same level of expectations as you hold other students, other races of students. That's the core of the conversation, right? That's the core of the conversation. A standardized, level of excellence. If I think, a white boy, a white girl, an Asian boy, an Asian girl should be up to this level, and doesn't matter if you're not that level, then you should be held back. But no, if you're Black, oh, God forbid you fail a Black student. So you know what? Fine, I'm gonna move you up along with these other students. So you're gonna continue to move up along with them, and then you're gonna graduate along with them.
Namely, Black and brown students. So, and by brown, I mean Latino, of Latino descent, whatever the politically correct language is, and Black, obviously. So they stopped holding kids back. I remember
I did not know that. I did not know they stopped doing that. That is kind of crazy if they actually stopped doing that. Like, if it's like kind of nationwide kind of thing.
specifically at a school that I taught at, someone said, this will be the last promotion some of these kids will ever see, so we better give it to them. Meaning, 8th grade promotion, they're not going to graduate high school. So they have to go through this 8th grade promotion because they're not going to make it out. Instead of putting them in an intervention class. This is what has caused this. There are so many different factors not teaching fundamentals at the elementary school level. There's a school in Louisiana who has reverted back to basic phonics. Their kids are excelling. We know that works. But someone decided that it was too controlling or structured or something. We have kids who are being pushed into mainstream classes. We stopped really doing like honors, advanced. They're trying to avoid that thing because they don't want people to feel bad. They don't want to seem like they're discriminatory. Some kids are not ready and others are. Give those classes back. So that.
You see the mindset where the participation award culture has poisoned our society. It's affecting Black students the most. The whole participation award mindset, the whole soft parenting, soft touch to students.
That is why students cannot read. I would love to hear other people's experiences.
Kari, it's the first day of school. You know what? It amazes me how many students don't realize that their principals also have social media, because guess what showed up on my feed? You doing the claw machine over our brand new desks. Not only that, but you told your basketball coach that you had to sit out the season because, and I quote, "She made us do too many squats and now my legs don't work." Clearly, this is why you needed walking assistance today. You will receive a pass to my office tomorrow. Oh, and one more thing. I know that horse laughed from anywhere. Malencia, thank you for posting the evidence of you having your phone out instead of having your phone in the cell phone parking lot. So you too will receive a pass to my office tomorrow. And Mr. Cook, I'm giving you another chance this year. There is no reason why these behaviors should be going on in your class on the first day of school. So Kari, Malencia, and Mr. Cook, all three of you will receive a pass to my office tomorrow.
Now, if this is real, she's the real principal. Two things. I do give her credit for, now giving these people warnings or, holding them accountable. Two, it's a little bit that, you are the leader. These things happen under your watch. So, good that you are taking care of it, but, I just wanted to show that because I thought it was an interesting clip. But again, this is the problem where we don't, I'm sorry. I miss tough love. It's not basic reading level. It's below it. Right? This is the thing where people are really struggling. And you see the mindset of kids nowadays. They're not serious. They don't care about their education. They don't care about nothing. It's just, honestly, it's sad. It really is. So again, I've said this before. You think that you're helping the Black community by lowering the bar. You're not. Because when you lower the bar for these kids, guess what? The real world will not be as kind. Employers won't lower the bar just because you're Black. Right? Businesses just won't lower the bar just because you're Black. Lowering the bar because of someone's race is a detriment. It's a detriment. I said this. The problem is make the opportunities available. That's it. Don't discriminate. Make the opportunities available, but don't worry about trying to get equal outcomes. Don't. Make the opportunities available. That's our main purpose, our main point. Make the opportunities available. You don't need to make it easier. You don't need to make a quota, any of that shit. No check mark, none of that shit. Just make the opportunities available. Not based on race, not based on gender, not based on that bullshit. Based on skills, competence, okay? Based by merit. And that will be good for everyone. You weed out the weak, you promote the strong. I don't give a shit if it's predominantly Asian people, predominantly white people, predominantly Black. It doesn't matter. But you know that it's predominantly good. Right? That's the point. So, I don't know. Red Door, what is up, my sister? What is up? So, I wanted to talk about this. I don't know if you guys, maybe. We'll be talking with some internet people, right? Internet famous people. So, this woman has been the biggest man hater for the last, decade, maybe 5, for a while. She's been a big man hater for a long time, okay? She has recently get into hot water because now she support men, i.e. trans women. She's supporting trans women over actual women. Let's check this out.
I'm obsessed with these cis women that hate trans women, because I think that it is also a confession of like, hey, I really had to do everything I was told my whole life. And you have not.
Yeah.
You've not been in this, like,
You cut the line.
Yeah, I grew up in hell. You know what I mean? Like, my uncle was calling me hot when I was 5.
Exactly.
Like, there's actually no way for me to be that makes people happy. If
You're
I'm
right.
annoying, people wish I was dead.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't join me here.
Yeah,
And, like,
exactly.
like, what are you fighting for?
No, for real.
What are you
and
fighting
who are you
for?
fighting for?
Trans women have a more beautiful understanding. Trans women have a more beautiful understanding what womanhood is.
I agree.
And I think that unfortunately the programming for cis women it's kind of sad sometimes.
Yeah, it is.
And
yeah.
I'm like, actually, no, your womanhood is not your role. Your womanhood is not your status in society, and your womanhood is not your ability to be sexually assaulted.
Yeah.
And this trans debate that's like centering all on, well, like, if a quote unquote man in a dress is in a bathroom, he will rape me. I'm like, okay, well, then it sounds like the problem that we have is that men are going to rape and women are fearing rape their whole lives.
Right.
I love it. I love it. Women. This is a thing where it is about, okay? There was a reason why they separated bathrooms. There's a reason why they separate sports. There's a difference. Why are men invading women's spaces? And it's funny that one of the biggest haters of men is now defending men invading women's spaces. It's like, it's not even about, hard-wording women. I thought one of the biggest thing about women is like safe spaces. Isn't that? But now you're laughing, you're ridiculing, you're belittling that women want to have safe spaces. That's a woman for you. This is the biggest, fattest man hater ever. Supposedly feminist women supporter ever. And yet she's belittling women's feelings of having a safe space for themselves.
And when you talk to trans women about their womanhood, they talk about it, like, almost gets me choked up. They talk about it in such this like beautiful, expansive way.
Yeah.
Of like, it's
Trans women about their womanhood. These fucking men don't have a clue what womanhood is. This is what I'm talking about. These are two women. One woman that thinks she's a man, and one woman that's a fat, ugly feminist. That's literally saying that men know what it is, what womanhood is. This is why you can't help women. Women are their own fucking worst. They're their own villains.
this feeling I always had.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
it's this truth I've always known. It's the most beautiful parts of me. It's my softest self. And I don't feel that from cis women right now because I think the propaganda is so strong.
I agree.
You know, I have something very awful and terrible I have to deal with today. So I'm going to make this one video for all of the TERFs that are just now finding me. I'm in a very bad mood right now, so forgive me if it's crass. Video that you guys are getting fake outraged with my friend ER Fight Master is over a year old. The fact that you're pretending to give a fuck now means that you guys saw one alt-right MAGA-loving creator make a video espousing TERF rhetoric, and now you want to get clicks and likes too. Which means you didn't go and watch the episode, you didn't do any of your own research, and that's embarrassing. So I'll go ahead and catch you up. The conversation being had is about how trans women, most oftentimes, identify with femininity and womanhood, sometimes even better than cis women do. There's an entire discussion to it. Maybe you should go watch it before you pretend to get mad. Either way, saying it's misogynistic to agree with a trans woman on what it means to be a woman, and then in your defense of that talking point, saying things like they don't know what periods feel like, or they don't know what childbirth feels like, is really fucking stupid and embarrassing for multiple reasons. Overarching though, it's bigoted and transphobic. Ironically though, it's also misogynistic. Reducing womanhood down to your uterus and what it does is quite literally a pillar in misogyny. That is quite literally a tenet of patriarchy. Reducing women down to being able to have periods and create babies is a huge misogynistic talking point. Weaponizing it to discredit and invalidate trans women also makes you a transphobe. believing in feminism unless trans women are included makes you a TERF. TERF stands for trans exclusive radical feminist. J.K. Rowling, ever heard of her? That's what she is, and that's what you sound like when you say shit like that. All of that to say, what's even funnier about these ridiculous videos being made mad at me is that ER is not a man. ER was assigned female at birth. ER is a non-binary lesbian. ER knows all about periods because ER has had them before. You guys really need to work on taking 15 seconds and trying to go viral off of it. It's fucking embarrassing and it's annoying. My stance on supporting trans people has been consistent through the fucking years. If you followed me for real, you should fucking know that. My feminism is intersectional, unlike a lot of women who claim to be feminists when they make videos.
Your feminist is intersectional. So your feminism includes men that believe they're women. Absolutely. Absolutely low IQ. Absolutely low IQ. And this is the thing where, in the same thing, to say other women are misogynistic for discrediting how trans men know what it's like to be women. Can't make this shit up.
Like that. This entire conversation is stupid, bigoted, and transphobic. If you don't like that I support trans women with my whole fucking chest, unfollow me then, bitch. It's imperative cis women support trans women for fucking real, because I know I do. Thanks y'all, bye. Hey y'all, wanted to come on here and clear up some stuff. First things first, after conversations I've had with a lot of my trans friends, TS Doc Batty, Kay Poyer, Zaya, Selena, I'll tag all of them below. What they've shared with me is that the biggest issue and critique they have with all of this is, first of all, that trans women are taking the absolute brunt of all of this. At the end of this entire discourse, trans women are being harmed and targeted, and I'm the metaphorical gun pointing at them. And the main critique that they have shared with me is that there should have been a trans woman in the room if you're going to talk about trans women's experiences, which is extremely fair to say. Obviously, in the context of the situation, ER was trying to talk about how TERF rhetoric is specifically targeting trans women, obviously, and weaponizing a very...
I don't know what the TERF thing is. What the heck is this TERF thing? Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to look it up. I don't even know what that means. What? Okay. TERF is an acronym for Trans Inclusionary Radical Feminists. What the fuck? It's like, I'm getting too old for this shit. I'm getting too old for this shit.
Real fear that cis women also deal with. And the entire intention behind the conversation was obviously to have an open discussion about trans rights, which even ER has said themselves, they probably could have worded better. I think if you watch the full episode, you can understand it a little bit better, at least what they were trying to say. But all that being said, I have expressed to all of the women that I already mentioned, publicly and privately, that I am so incredibly sorry to the trans women who are now being targeted because of this entire discourse. That is not something that should have ever happened, especially when they were not involved. As far as speaking to the perspective of womanhood, I'm just going to tell y'all what I think. I feel like, personally, trans women have a much more beautiful outlook on womanhood than myself. The keyword being than myself. You don't have to agree with that. The reason why I feel that way, though, is because for me, a lot of my womanhood has been rooted in my fear and anger towards the systemic oppression that we face, towards the violence that we suffer at the hands of men. So my perception of my womanhood has...
Towards what you suffer by the hands of men. Yet you have no problem when said men turn into women. You call out the suffering yourself, and this bitch is, I believe, married, right? Married to a man. So your womanhood is focused on your suffering by the hands of men, and you think when men become women, they have a more beautiful understanding of womanhood because they're not suffering by the hands of men. Because they're men. I swear to God, women are fucking disgusting.
Has been rooted in suffering a lot, and finding community with trans people, and more specifically trans women, has completely shifted how I see womanhood. It has added color and life to what I perceive to be endurance, if that...
So, not being friends with women that weren't so poisoned by feminism, right? Doesn't have such a disgusting view of men. That didn't help you. But being friends with men that turn into women, that helped you. She's just a calorie goblin.
Makes sense. What women have to endure, both cis and trans, is a lot. And it is heavy and it is hard, but it is also so beautiful. I know that love is real because I've been loved by women, both cis and trans. And that is how I feel about the perception of my womanhood personally. Again, you don't have to.
And you know how insulting these types of women constantly calling other women cis, putting labels on them that they never asked for.
Feel that way. But all of that being said, I appreciate my trans friends coming to me and talking to me about this and having this discussion with me. As someone who is a staunch and steadfast ally, obviously y'all know that, I know that I will continue to grow and evolve in my advocacy and the way I can show up for trans people and trans women specifically. But to everyone that is being a TERF, you are not welcome on my page. My feminism includes trans women. I do not weigh one over the other. I weigh cis and trans women the same. And I will continue to fight for both cis and trans women. If your feminism is not intersectional, it does.
So all you gotta do, right, as men, which a lot of men are doing nowadays, I guess, is dress like a woman, call yourself a woman.
Not help all women. And just to reiterate, I'm so sorry again to all the trans women that are being affected by this. That is not something I ever wanted to happen. And I'm sorry that it did. Anyways, that's it. Make sure y'all follow all of the people I tag. Thanks.
What about this cis woman being impacted by this? As a trans woman, I feel that you owe them a big. Trans women are being harmed and y'all keep trying to center yourselves. Okay, I still don't think cis women should be centered in this conversation about harm caused to trans women. So remember, this bitch just said her feminism, right? Her womanhood is centered around the harm that women get. Right now, you're promoting that these trans women are receiving harm, which I don't. What harm? What harm are these trans women getting? I swear to God, these people are disgusting.
Hey y'all, wanted to come on here and clear up some stuff. First things first.
Women somehow possess a more beautiful collateral damage. Conversation was so deeply offensive to so many women because somehow in a conversation supposedly about inclusivity, cis women became the acceptable collateral damage. There is absolutely nothing wrong with the trans woman describing her relationship to womanhood as beautiful, expansive, soft, profound, deeply known, nothing. That experience does not threaten me. What is offensive is taking that experience and using it as evidence that trans women somehow possess a more beautiful, more enlightened understanding of womanhood than cis women do. And then having the audacity to explain the difference by saying cis women have essentially been poisoned by propaganda and programming. Do you hear yourselves? You took one group's relationship with womanhood, romanticized it.
Which is kind of funny that, can I tell you what my thoughts of womanhood is? Can I tell you like what I feel womanhood should be or whatnot? No, because I'm not dressed as a woman. It's like this is the problem with women. They're fucking weak. How can they be leaders? Instead of calling this disgusting, terrible person out, no, you're trying to still soften the blow. You're still softening the blow. Yeah, now I understand. I had to look it up. I didn't understand it before. But it's just weird. It's like this is infighting, right? The feminists fighting against feminists. Feminists that supports men, right? Trans women, and feminists that just supports women. This is the infighting. This is the infighting of women right here.
And then used it as a measuring stick with which to diminish another group of women. That is not inclusivity. That is just misogyny wearing progressive vocabulary. Cis women do not lack some beautiful understanding of womanhood because we also talk about sexism, sexual violence, social expectations, objectifications, reproductive realities, beauty standards, motherhood, aging, safety, our bodies, or the roles society has tried to force upon us. Those things are not the entirety of womanhood, but they have shaped the lives of millions of women. And dismissing women's discussion of those realities as programming is breathtakingly condescending. A woman saying part of my experience of being a woman has involved learning to navigate the possibility of male violence is not saying that rape defines womanhood. She is describing something that has affected how she moves through the world.
And this is funny. This is funny where this is going to be the results where these feminist groups are absolutely going to, eat each other up, try to kill each other. Candor, a turf isn't a real feminist. I mean, what is a real feminist today? I don't really know.
You don't get to turn around and tell her that her understanding of herself is somehow less beautiful because it contains scars you find inconvenient to your theory. And this is where I find your response especially revealing, Drew. You have built a brand around calling out misogyny. You have positioned yourself as someone.
Is it? Because in my opinion, I thought feminism has always been the fight for equality for women. How are you going to fight for equality for women when you're not a real woman? You've only categorized yourself as a woman. That's it. That's what trans women are. They're not real women. So a real feminist is someone that believes feelings equals reality. Well, now maybe I could agree with that, right? I could probably agree with that.
Who recognizes when women are being demeaned, dismissed, stereotyped, or spoken over. Yet somehow, when the women being generalized were cis women, your critical thinking apparently took the afternoon off. Because imagine hearing someone essentially say, these women don't understand womanhood as beautifully because they've been programmed incorrectly. And instead of saying, hold on, sis, why are we ranking women's relationship to womanhood at all? You agree. That should bother you. And when women told you they were hurt by it, the answer should not have been to center everybody except the women being discussed. See, advocacy is incredibly easy when the people being offended are people you've already decided that deserve your protection. The test is whether your principles still apply when the person being demeaned isn't your preferred demographic. You cannot preach that nobody gets to define womanhood for someone else and then sit comfortably through a conversation defining cis women's relationship to womanhood for them. You cannot condemn misogynistic generalizations about women and then applaud one because the person making it has politically fashionable intentions.
That's the thing. This is the infighting.
And you certainly cannot call.
Drew's thought on this is that I think that trans women have a more beautiful understanding what womanhood is.
I agree.
How embarrassing it is to be such a feminist you turn misogynistic.
I'm in a very bad mood right now. Trans women most oftentimes identify with femininity and womanhood, sometimes even better than cis women do.
I have a serious question. Why are you people so surprised that Afualo is standing up for her community? Don't she walk, talk, act, and brag like men, manly men? And personally, I'm just loving watching the bad teeth bandits get checked by the sensible women. My shiny teeth and me.
So apparently, Drew Afualo is in deep waters with her feminist occult following. And it's all because of this clip.
Drew's thought on this is that I think that trans women have a more beautiful understanding of what womanhood is. I agree. I think that, unfortunately, the programming for cis women it's kind of...
He's goated. He's definitely on this shit.
Kind of sad sometimes.
Yeah, it is,
Yes, you heard that correctly. A trans woman's experience is more beautiful, keyword there, more, than a real woman's experience. And yes, I'm going to say real women. I'm not going to say cis women.
Your womanhood is not your role. Mm-hmm. Your womanhood is not your status in society. And your womanhood is not your ability to be sexually assaulted.
I want to know, did you actually survey women and this was like their top 3? Because I highly doubt it.
If a quote unquote man in a dress is in a bathroom, he will rape me. I'm like, okay, well, then it sounds like the problem that we have is that men are going to rape and women are fearing rape their whole lives.
Wait a second. What in the gender fluid backrooms girl boss mapping logic did I just...
And I said this. It's absolutely asinine. Absolutely asinine. And I'm not saying that bad shit don't happen. It happens. But the numbers don't really support women's claims. The numbers don't support women's claims. I'm more on the side that these are safe spaces for women. That's it. Why argue that? These are safe spaces for women. Men shouldn't be in these. Men shouldn't be in these spaces. Plain and simple.
Here, let me see if I'm getting this correct. Trans women have a better understanding of what womanhood is than real women. This is because trans women's experience is more beautiful or soft or whatever else she said. Real women's experience is sad because of roles in society and her ability to get raped. Real women are scared of trans women raping them in the bathroom. This translates to women are actually scared of men, which would come to the logical conclusion that trans women are just men. Also, what dangerous rhetoric to espouse that all men are going to grape. And even if I were to believe that, we should just make it easier for them. Like for this guy. Or this guy, or this guy, or this guy, or this guy. Make it make sense. Now you would think that Drew would go on to make an apology video saying that maybe my guest used the wrong wording, maybe the language wasn't appropriate. Wrong. She doubles down.
So I'm gonna make this one video for all of the TERFs that are just now finding me. You guys saw one alt-right MAGA-loving creator make a video espousing TERF rhetoric, and now you want to get clicks and likes too.
Now, if you didn't know, TERF stands for Trans Exclusionary Radical Feminist. She's trying to insult them by calling them the worst thing you can be called on the left. MAGA. What she's actually saying, if you turn your listening ears on, is you found common ground with somebody I completely disagree with on one core subject matter. And that's bad.
Which means you didn't go and watch the episode, you didn't do any of your own research, and that's embarrassing. So I'll go ahead and catch you up. Conversation being...
You see, when I argued with Zyrax that the left isn't inclusive, you see how even their own group, right? Feminists are fighting against feminists. Even in their own group, they're trying to kill each other. They're hating each other. I've said this before. They are so anti-sheep, right? They're so anti-sheep. You have to think like each other. If you fall out of line, you're a MAGA.
Is about how
to be honest, I mean, I've heard of her. I don't really watch her shit because honestly, she's stupid, low IQ. All she knows how to do is rage bait. Right? That's all she knows how to do. All she knows how to do is just be. You should not have engaged with Zyrax. Veronica, what's up? What's up? This is a thing where I engage with her because it's. Again, it's just someone to. It's always a good thing, in my opinion, right? To not be so close-minded from people who don't agree with you. If you don't agree with me, fine, but prove it. Counter me. That's my thing. It's like Marin said in The Exorcist: "Do not engage with the demon." I mean, I get it, right? I get it. My thing is that at the end of the day, I'm not scared of people who has a difference of opinions. I'm not. And I don't want to promote hate. I would date a demon. Evil Eddie, you're crazy. I don't want to promote that we have to hate people just because they have a different opinion. I'm not like these people. I'm not like these types of people. I'm not. It is all good that you have a difference of opinion. But bring it. Okay? If you have a difference of opinion, bring it on. I'm always ready to have a conversation, have a debate.
Trans women, most oftentimes, identify with femininity and womanhood, sometimes even better than cis women do. There's an entire discussion to it. Maybe you should go watch it before you pretend to get mad.
Anyone who thinks that context is really important, you actually don't need any other context because you just restated what everybody else is saying you said. Actually, you didn't even say it. You just sat there the entire time going,
right.
Overarching, though, it's bigoted and transphobic. Ironically, though, it's also misogynistic. Reducing womanhood down to your uterus and what it does is quite literally a pillar in misogyny.
It's not reducing women down to their reproductive organs or what they do. It's qualifiers for the discussion. Now I sound like a feminist. What is misogyny, though, is hearing a woman say, I don't want men in my spaces because it makes me uncomfortable, to then generalize her idea of womanhood to whether or not she can get raped. This is the thing with feminists.
Sometimes I do question Drew because she is absolutely can pass off for a man.
This is why their worldview and their ideas crumble before your very eyes. Their suicidal empathy tells them that comfort supersedes safety, and I don't buy it. So apparently, Drew Afualo.
I've been given the chance to clarify a point, and I'm so grateful for it. If
I have my doubts. I do have my doubts.
When you make an argument for excluding trans women from womanhood, you focus on the bathroom debate, i.e. like trans women are biological males, and if you allow a biological male into a bathroom with a biological female, there's a guaranteed risk of sexual violence. Then you are equating womanhood with the inevitability of being sexually assaulted, and you are equating manhood with the inevitability of sexually assaulting a woman. If you believe that it's a guarantee that allowing a biological male into the bathroom with women is going to lead to sexual assault, then your problem is with men. It is not with trans women.
Who are men. Your logic doesn't follow. One, let's say your cohort, your queen, has always spouted that men are dangerous, men are violent, men are whatever. Have always spouted men are terrible. So it's always been her rhetoric that men do terrible things. Two, if your rhetoric follows, trans women are men. They're not biological women. They are not. Seriously, they don't have any, okay, of the distinct qualities or factors that biologically make them a woman. Anything that they can fake is usually through surgery, and it's fake.
Trans women make up a very minuscule percentage of biological males. So if you are focusing...
Hey, guess what, bitch? So do the violent men. Violent men make up such a minute amount of men, yet you consistently, right? People like you consistently focus on that shit, but you have no problem with that. You see how your hypocrisy is now coming to bite you in the fucking ass? That's why disgusting people like that, like these, are stupid. They're low IQ. They don't realize that if I don't make my logic consistent, eventually that inconsistency will come and bite me in the butt. You see this? Oh, trans women are so minuscule in population that they shouldn't matter. Guess what? Same thing with the violent men. Violent crime, right? Men that commit violent crime is less than 1%. Yet stupid bitches like you will constantly talk about it. Will constantly talk about it. Yeah, you have no problem with talking about the small percentage of men. Yet, when the men that you like are talked about, now it's a problem. Now it's an issue.
On them instead of the perpetrators of rape culture, you might be a transphobe, or you might have been cleverly distracted by a power structure that benefits from you not addressing it head on. Womanhood is a beautiful and expansive thing that blooms far beyond its relationship to oppression. And when we have these debates...
And it's funny, right? A lot in the comment for this video is pretty much saying that this woman is gaslighting you.
We make womanhood all about sexual assault. That is my point. It was poorly made, and I'm sorry for that. Cis women lose nothing by supporting and loving trans women. They lose everything by not addressing rape culture for exactly what the fuck it is.
You lose nothing for supporting men.
Drew Afualo is a friend of mine and an icon, and I love her. And she does a lot of work to fucking take to task and shut down the men in your comment section that you protect when you shift the argument from rape culture to trans womanhood. It's totally okay for you to have a critique about my whiteness. I fucking get it. Whiteness often sucks. But if you have a bunch of thoughts and opinions on Drew because you don't like her tone or her behavior or her existence, I do wonder if it is just racism. Long story short, if you feel the need to address Drew with anything other than...
I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. But this is why I think people in the alphabet community are mentally disturbed. They are the autistics of our community. They are the mentally ill. They're not worth... This is why, I don't know why we're putting people like this in the forefront, right? Like the fat Drew, the ugly Drew. She's probably autistic. I'm sorry. There was a time in like, why are we supporting the mentally ill in our nation?
This whole situation with Drew was really ironic because she built her whole empire off of being pro-women, but she's starting to act a lot like how men act when they're called out and they...
My thing is that I never think she was pro-women. I think she was just pro-hating men. That's my thing.
They know they're wrong. The baseless name calling, replacing emotional intelligence with being condescending when the other person is either asking for clarity or trying to address the issue, and then backpedaling with a half-assed apology because she can't control the situation. If a man was responding to her in the same way that she's responding to some of the women in her comments, we would see a very long video of her cackling at him on our For You page. This whole situation with Drew was really ironic.
Drew Afualo, just because you call people transphobes and you say that they have to unpack things doesn't mean you're right. Doing a podcast with a whole man and having him mansplain womanhood to you and you're just eating it right up because, oh, you can't get canceled. Because anyone with a fucking brain knows what kind of shit that you have to push on this platform to become as big as you. Nothing you say is actually of substance. I'm fully aware that you can come on here and LARP and say all the right things and your following's gonna grow and you're gonna get brand deals if you keep pushing yourself one way. These big brands love that woke shit. But to let a man tell you that trans women have known their whole lives about the feeling of being a woman more than actual women. I don't need to prove that I'm a woman to anyone. I don't need to wear makeup if I don't want to. I simply am a woman. Biologically, okay? When we all die and they find my bones, they are going to find out that I was a woman. Because even then, the biology is not going to change. When will y'all realize that these creators on these apps are just here to push an agenda on you and get paid? The shit that these big creators say on this app, they say it because they know that they have to.
This is why I don't think I'll ever get any sort of big following, because one, I definitely won't. I only speak this is the thing where I only speak my mind. And I don't speak my mind in a way that it benefits anybody or it caters to anybody or panders to any one particular person. I don't. The only way you like me is that you find the things I say interesting or you kind of agree with it and you have no issue with the things that you do disagree with. But I'm not really that suitable for most people.
Tiptoe this line where, hey, I want to get paid, but also I can't say what I actually want to say because then I won't get paid. I've seen big creators come out and talk about Dr. Fauci, you know, that one girl that does makeup on here, Drew Afualo defending men, coming on here, creating a whole platform, talking about men, right? But you're never defending women when it comes to these topics because it's simply just for clicks. It's not actually about women. Y'all wanted to cancel me so bad, y'all want to label me a fucking TERF, but because of the fact that I actually stand with women. Because standing for women, biological women, is controversial. Because in this day and age, at least,
I think standing for humans is more controversial. I stand for humans, period. I stand for humans. I stand for men getting respect they deserve. I stand for women being treated like women, like traditional women. I stand for the unity of man and women. I stand for men and women getting together and reproducing, having families, having marriages, reproducing, continuing the human species. That's what I stand for. I don't give a shit about only women. I don't give a shit about only men. I don't. Because that's stupid. That's literally extinction talk. Right? That is extinction talk. I don't come here and say that I stand for just men. That's it. No. And if I did, I evolved from that because I've learned that at the end of the day, there's plenty of stupid men out there. Plenty. Plenty of men that are their own villains that has destroyed what it is to be a man.
right now, I don't know, I think in the future it's going to change, maybe in the next 6 months. You're not going to get the brand deals. You're not going to make the money if you push against these agendas. If your favorite creator is always saying all your favorite buzzwords and always standing up to all those causes that you care about, you should take a fucking step back and be like, hold on. They can't always agree on these things. Oh my God, wait a second. It's because they are here to make money off of you. We can say the left and the right are the same. It's two wings of the same bird, right? It's very, very fucking abundantly clear that the left is completely intertwined with media, intertwined with brands. You become a right-wing creator and you're in a partner with fucking Home Depot. So when you look at the world and you're like, wow, everything really is about money, you should look at the creators that you follow in a very objective way. These people do not give a fuck about you. Drew is just getting a check. This is her.
No surprise there. I mean, I always known this, like, hating on men is profitable. Hating on men is a profitable thing.
Your womanhood is not your ability to be sexually assaulted.
Yeah. And this is why anybody and everybody can't be put in front of a mic. This was such an unnecessary take. Because who the fuck thought that? Who said that? Your womanhood isn't based on whether or not you can be sexually assaulted? Who the fuck said that? This is why people can't be in front of a fucking mic. And Drew just sitting there like, yeah. No, bitch. Because what? This is the bullshit. This is the fucking bullshit. Anyone can be sexually assaulted. What fucking point was this person trying to make? I'm genuinely confused. There comes a point when people are talking to brick walls where they start to sound like fucking idiots. And this is prime example number one. Because you're obviously not talking to the people that does support trans rights and trans people.
You're stupid. I'm maybe not her, but I'm sorry. Anyone that supports trans people are fucking idiots. You are supporting the mentally ill. The mentally ill. If you are supporting the mentally ill, that I question your mentality. I question your mental health. But you know what? No surprise that it's predominantly women supporting the mentally ill. Because let's be honest, because of women being controlled by their emotions, they can be mentally ill a lot of times.
You're talking to the people that don't. But in the process of that, you sound fucking stupid. So why would they listen to you? Why would you be the change they needed to hear to bring them to the other side when you sound dumb as fuck? There comes a point where you need to step back and reevaluate the shit that you're saying and the information that you're putting out, because you're doing nothing but pushing people away further from the fucking point because you sound dumb. Why would you say that? I'm just like, what the fuck?
Your womanhood is not.
It's totally okay for you to have a critique about my whiteness. I fucking get it. Whiteness often sucks. But if you have, I do wonder if it is just racism.
I always question, right? I always question people who shit on their own race, who shit on their own people. Whiteness sucks. Being Asian is terrible. Asian people are racist. Are you mentally ill? It's like, just like the women who like, oh, I would never date an Asian man, or I would never date a black man, or it's like, are you mentally ill? You are so superficial. All you see is these superficial qualities, race, gender. It's like, there's something wrong with you.
Head ass. And I knew you were gonna lose me. I just knew you were gonna lose me. You didn't really have me for real, but I knew you were gonna lose me. Women of color are allowed to be critiqued without it being racist. It's that simple. And oh, if you didn't like her tone or whatever.
Oh yeah, definitely. If we're doing it, I'm definitely gonna do it. You gotta hit 10K so we can have that bro meetup and party. I would love it. I'm like, again, that is a definitely true thing if it happens, but who knows? Who knows?
Whatever is clearly because you're racist. I didn't like her tone because anyone that was simply trying to have a conversation with her.
And you know what? I would have been fine with that, okay? Bro, it was only a few years ago where trans support just meant not making fun of them and letting them live. I have no problem with that. Exactly. I don't give a shit if you want to think you're a woman. Go for it. The problem is, why are you in mainstream media? Why are you all over the place? Why is everyone talking about you? Why are you in women's bathrooms? Why are you in women's sports? Why? It's like, I don't give a shit what you do when you close your door. You can be a horse for all that matters. Wolf Rain, you change your name, man, bro. You're like the prince of YouTube names. You're like the prince of YouTube names. This is like, you're gonna be changing your names all the time. But yeah, it's like, live the life you want, but why are you all up in my face? You are such a small amount of people, yet you're in TV shows, movies, news, other forms of entertainment, all over social media. Like, what the hell? Why? You're everywhere.
about your tone and your choice of words was getting called transphobic and getting called a TERF for simply asking for clarification. That's not racism. That's dangerous rhetoric to spread as if women of color can't be critiqued because they're women of color. No, bitch, wrong is wrong. Black, brown, and other. They're not exempt from being criticized. Not being able to have dialogue in a constructive way, yet you platform the conversation. Your conversation raised the question. And instead of addressing it, you call everybody every type of phobic and ism because they don't outright agree with you. But to then go say, you asking for the clarification because you don't agree with the tone or you don't agree with the name calling may be racist is fucking delusion. It's, you know what? Y'all got it. Y'all got it.
Long story short, if you feel the need to address,
I think that there's a chance that the girlies might actually just be done with men telling them what a woman is. I think this whole Drew Afualo conversation has sort of shone a light on.
But again, this is the thing. It's not men who's telling it, or it's not necessarily men that are supporting this stuff. It is mentally ill men that are saying what women are, and then the mentally ill women propping that up.
Why? Because in the midst of this controversy, I've been seeing a lot of women asking men to stop using the term cis. They view it as a mean-spirited, derogatory term that
men don't use that. It is the left. It is the alphabet community. It is the alphabet community that's constantly using the word cis. If I'm not saying it because of these stupid ass videos, that word would never come out of my mouth. Who the fuck uses the word cis besides these honestly mentally ill alphabet community? But guess what? Women, you're the fool that's supporting this community. You're the mentally ill people that are supporting these mentally ill people.
Undermines their experiences. Somebody responded to my video that I made with a video of their own that I think really perfectly encapsulates that mean-spiritedness.
It's not a slur. It is what makes you female, not a woman. Okay? You understand the difference between female and woman?
Yeah, if I had a bunch of mean-spirited people come to me and tell me that I didn't know what I was and then try to fill up my spaces, I would be really pissed off too. The idea that weak-willed feminized men have been able to...
But guess what? These are the men on the left.
Essentially attack women on their womanhood and tell them that their womanhood is not beautiful, it's not real, it's not something that's intrinsic to them, and get away with it for so long is honestly kind of disgusting. The craziest thing about all this is that Drew, who identifies herself as a feminist and a champion for women, has decided to just spiral out, arguing that anybody who is critical of her is a bot.
Exactly. I agree. I honestly, people that are talking about rights is absolutely low IQ nowadays because they don't even know what they're talking about.
Falling for conservative op or TERF. Clearly just gaslighting. It isn't surprising because this has been the playbook for people who don't believe that a woman is a woman for the longest time. If you have any level of disagreement, you are attacked, shunned, gaslit, and sometimes abused. Which is why I'm glad that women seem to be done. Because womanhood is a beautiful thing, and nobody can tell you what it is except for another woman. I think that there's a chance that the girlies might actually...
Drew Afualo has now posted...
These videos are so inconsistent in their volume.
2 different responses to the viral podcast clip that has taken the internet by storm. Let's talk about those from a PR perspective. In case you missed it, Drew is a podcast host, and over a year ago, she had a guest named ER Fightmaster on. Well, this week, a clip from that podcast was recirculated and went viral all over TikTok, and she has released 2 videos in response. When you are in a reputational crisis, you have about 6 moves available. You can deny, you can attack the accuser, you can differentiate, you can argue that it did happen, but not the way that it's being framed. You can also transcend, appealing to some bigger principle. You can also take corrective action, or you can apologize outright. So which move is the right move? Well, the answer is not dependent at all upon whether or not you believe that you are correct, but it is dependent on your audience. Drew's first video opens with her explaining that she's having a bad day, she's in a bad mood, and you'll have to forgive her if she's crass, which is an ask for a charitable reading. And then she proceeds to not give anyone else any sort of grace or forgiveness. She spends the rest of the video explaining why everyone who's criticizing her is either fake outraged, chasing clicks, or pretending to care. And one of her main grievances is that her clip did not get a generous interpretation, but she refuses to give a generous interpretation to anyone who's criticizing her. She then tells everyone to go back and listen to the full podcast episode while stating the disputed line even more bluntly than the podcast originally did. As many of us know, long-form podcast success is hinged on short viral clips. On a good day, you get to be the author and narrator of that podcast clip, and it will reflect on you positively, but you have to be prepared on a public relations level that could always go south. After the release of that first video, Drew was in the comment section arguing with and blocking people who were responding back to her. But the thing that bothered me the most is that I saw a variety of different heartfelt, genuine critiques of her message being responded to with the same copy and paste style message. Comment after comment, they were strikingly similar, and none of them were actually responding to what the creator was saying to Drew in the first place. I want you to consider for a moment what would happen if a brand responded that way. It would be picked apart and they would be flamed for years, right? The beauty of creatorhood is this ability to connect with a real person. It makes you feel like you know the person. For them to not listen to what's going on really bothered me. Now let's talk about the second video where she concedes and apologizes to trans women. She admits that there should have been a trans woman in the room having this conversation with Drew and ER in the first place. She tags the
Definitely 100% agree with the statement. The overrepresentation of trans in the media is insane and annoying. Absolutely disgusting in my opinion.
friends who she has consulted throughout this process and sends her audience to go follow them. And she attempts to resolve the entire dispute by arguing that trans women have a more beautiful perspective on womanhood than she does personally, not all women. Imagine if Drew would have taken some time off social media, consulted her friends, and then come back with a much more wise and well thought out perspective. I think a huge problem here was that she set the terms that this was a confrontational situation from day one, literally. And then she was fighting back to people and commenting on things without
absolutely insane.
Karma's kind of a bitch. Because one day you'll be riding high on the weaponized emotions of women that you have manipulated into giving you money and attention. The next day, those women will come after you for good reason because you've decided to undermine their experience and become the very thing that you spent your entire career attacking. If you have no idea who I'm talking about, well, this is Drew. Drew built her entire career around attacking men for perceived moments of misogyny. Ripping them to shreds in public for things that they said, maybe sometimes misogynistic, maybe sometimes not. Her audience, who is usually weaponized against people, is now weaponized against her. Because of this moment.
My thought on this is that I think that trans women have a more beautiful understanding of what womanhood is. I agree.
I mean, there's something explicitly beautiful about this. Not only because it shows a shift in the culture back to normal, trans women and cis women are no longer seen as 100% the same or equal, but because in an attempt to be as progressive as physically possible, they accidentally platform something deeply misogynistic. And look, frankly, we don't really need to opine on this very much longer. Obviously, trans women don't have the same grasp on femininity that cis women do because, well, they're not women. I think it's important to remember that what goes around often also comes around. Build a platform around viciously hating people and fomenting a culture that is deeply negative and resentful, and that platform may or may not at one point in time bite you in the ass. Karma.
That's what no surprise there. I've said this before. I don't build this platform on hating women. I don't. Okay. I build it on holding people accountable for their words and their actions. I don't care if you're a woman. I don't care if you're a minority. I don't care if you're a man. If I have an opinion on it, I have an opinion on it. So.
It's kind of a bit.
Personal opinion, you can agree to disagree, and that is perfectly okay. You don't have to agree with me, but I think we're getting to a really dangerous point in activism, particularly leftist activism, where simple disagreement is seen as being a hater of a certain group. I think we're getting to a really dangerous point where if you have a simple disagreement, but you don't necessarily, even if you don't disagree with who that person is, their way of life, who they are, them being a human being, even if you don't disagree with that, you just disagree on like a certain aspect of whatever it is, people automatically are like, you're a phobic, you're this, you're that. That's not what that means. There are people in Drew's comment section being like, I think that trans women and cis women have completely different experiences, and that's okay, and both are beautiful, and there's nothing wrong with that. And she's blocking people for saying that. She's blocking people for simple disagreement.
This is why I've said this before. I don't mind people with difference of opinion. I don't. I challenge it. That's the thing. we should be able to challenge each other. That is civilized society, in my opinion. But when you want to be an echo chamber, you've lost it.
And I think we're getting to a really dangerous place where we only want to hear what we want to hear. We don't want to hear other sides. We automatically try and put ourselves on the moral high ground, but we don't want to listen to anybody else. And yeah, like, what does that sound like to you, though? Like, I'm going to think about that. What does that sound like? What does it sound like when you just want to hear what you want to hear? You listen to the news that you want to hear, right? You're only listening to a certain kind of news. You're only listening to certain kind of people. You don't want to hear anything else. And the second that you don't hear something that is exactly in line with what you want, that you just immediately write it off. What does that sound like to you? I think we're approaching a really dangerous point. And no, you are not transphobic for disagreeing with what ER and Drew said. If you don't agree, you don't agree.
This is the thing where this whole phobia of all this shit is like, I'm not scared of nobody. I'm not scared of a man putting on a dress thinking he's a woman. That's the least scareful thing in the world, in my opinion.
You are transphobic if you don't think that trans people are real, because those people are real. But
I think they're mentally ill. Real? What is real? What is real in that context? Okay. Are they men dressed as women? Yeah. That's true. But are they real women? They're not. They're not real women. So real is very nuanced, very relative, okay, when it comes to trans women. They are men that think they're women. Does reality really apply to them? It's literally, this is the thing where the whole alphabet community, right, especially the trans community, they are literally, okay, on the basis of trying to fight against reality, okay? They're trying to fight against the norm, reality. These are men that love men, not normal. Women that love women, not normal. Men that think they're women, definitely not normal. Women that think they're men, stupid, but also not normal. So, yeah. Is it really reality? Is it really real? It's more delusion. It's more like you're living in a fantasy world.
you're not transphobic for disagreeing. That's not a thing. Personal opinion, you can agree to disagree, and that's perfectly okay. You don't have to agree with me, but I think we're getting to really dangerous.
But that's, that's the left for you. They are honestly just a bunch of emotionally stunted people. Adults, I guess. What do you guys think? I just think it's funny. I wanted to show this because, again, I think it's funny. I don't really know Drew that well because I don't really care for her content. It's literally just man-hating, right? 24/7. All man-hating shit. So I get enough of that, right? Once in a blue moon with her ugly ass, okay. But I just thought it's funny that when you build your whole platform on man-hating, and now you're supporting men over women, it's just like, I thought you hated men. So if men now dress like women, you automatically support them? Kind of fucking stupid. The left is the left is the left is just honestly idiotic. They really are. They are really just crazy people. Crazy. Guys, thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for being here. So I have some more content on another big hater, right? Another big hater that I've seen her content from time to time. She was on whatever podcast a while ago. So all right, so this is a story. This is, I guess, a little bit about a girl, a woman who was on whatever podcast a little while ago. She debated with Andrew Wilson. She got really triggered and, left, rage quit. So let's check this one out.
Kylie Brewer is being punished by right-wing men because they feel they've lost control. A lot of my viewers have asked me to touch on the Kylie Brewer situation, and I'll give you the quickest explanation I can as to what the situation is. Kylie Brewer is an ex-MAGA leftist content creator who is currently being harassed by right-wing and MAGA men online. The most common example of this harassment I've seen recently has been right-wing men using her likeness to create insulting and degrading AI videos of her. And what I have to say about this situation after doing my own research is that this behavior from right-wing or MAGA men indicates that this behavior is simply a bid for control. Because you have to keep in mind how men on the right view women, especially right-wing women, or any woman who they believe is on their side, maybe family members or friends. The way the right views women is that they exist as side characters in their lives that simply exist to offer their support. And the idea of a right-wing woman leaving the right and expressing that she has opinion of her own to a right-wing man feels like a slap in the face from someone who they don't even view as human. These type of men can't even imagine that women would have opinions of their own, let alone express them. And they absolutely can't imagine that a right-wing woman would ever reject the teachings of the right and take control of not only her own beliefs and values, but as a result, her own life. And that's why these right-wing men become so aggravated at right-wing women for leaving the right, because they don't view right-wing women as their peers by any sense. They view them as something akin to livestock, something that they expect to follow their orders, or they deserve to be taken out to the slaughter. This reaction to Kylie Brewer's content by right-wing men is simply a temper tantrum that they're throwing over losing control over their women, as well as a public display of punishment to make women considering leaving the right for the left too terrified to do so. Kylie,
what study did she do? Like, what research did she do? I'm gonna show you the videos, but like, are you absolutely low IQ person?
I say white Americans have no culture is because most of the things that have become associated with white people were black inventions. White people love vanilla, but did you know that vanilla was actually invented by an enslaved black teenager who was 14 years old? His name was Edmund Albius. He's the person who made vanilla a mass-produced product because he figured out how to rapidly pollinate these plants. Or number two, if you've ever heard of techno music, that was actually invented by black people in Detroit in the 80s, which now has become synonymous.
This is a thing where I have a problem when I've looked at some of these. Yeah, they're true. The problem is that for what you do, right? I've never heard of vanilla being white people culture, right? I've never heard of that. But you don't realize that black people are part of America. It's American culture. But when you want to spout these racist rhetorics, fine. You want to make it distinct. But again, her whole platform in recent years or recent time is just purely about, bashing white men. Great.
White people, 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 white people. My name is Kylie and I'm the craziest things about being a content creator that I absolutely did not expect was the amount of anti-Semitism that I would experience. White people, white people, white people, white people, white people, white people. I am literally Catholic.
Although I'm not Catholic. Although I'm not Catholic. Although I'm not Catholic. Although I'm not Catholic. Though I'm not Catholic.
I am literally Catholic.
Although I'm not Catholic. Although I'm not Catholic. Although I'm...
The FBI has taken my case seriously, but the local police department in New York City did not. Cops came over and took a report from me because I had what I believed to be credible threats on my life, including my location.
It's no secret that I don't like Crash Out Kylie. I think she's performative, disingenuous, and she's clearly racist towards white people.
White men, white people are white women, white person, white men, microaggression. White women are white women.
And a racist trying to build a whole platform on being racist towards other people is, well, lame. Somebody who has gotten repeated death threats, been doxxed multiple times, and been swatted 6 times, I just gotta tell you, you internetians who are doing this shit have got to chill out. These are serious felonies that people are committing.
He said, well, you're a public figure. Isn't this kind of stuff gonna happen every week? Are we gonna have to come every week? What kind of content do you post?
Part of the the problem, Kylie, is that this is the exact type of shit that you do to other people, including minors. You doxed little girls and encouraged people to harass them because you decided they were racist. So the cops not taking it seriously when you're a crybaby about this shit kinda tracks.
And a lot of cops are incredibly conservative, even in big cities like New York.
Well, the left is constantly screaming about defunding them and screaming F the police, which is kind of funny because the second that you even get offended, they are the first people that you call. You can't make enemies out of everybody and then complain because they don't want to help you. And listen, I can't stand cowards who threaten people online from the safety of their phone screen, but I hope you get just as much justice for this as those little girls in Oregon that you doxed and encouraged people to harass did. Hope that helps.
The FBI is...
I'm not a big supporter of online threats because I think it's low IQ. It's just another low IQ take because you have to threaten people. You have to threaten violence or threaten what I did a video on saying that recently happened to me. I mean, I'm like, okay, bring it. I'm not scared of nobody. But again, it's just it's weak people who want to threaten violence or whatever on others, even if people you disagree with. This is why I say bring it, in the sense that let's have a conversation. The difference between her and me is that she doesn't create an environment where let's have a conversation. Let's talk. Let's have a debate. I would do that. Right? This is why, like Veronica said, I shouldn't, encourage that with Zyrax. I'm fine with it. Okay. I don't mind people having a disagreement. I welcome it because I'm willing to test my logic, test what I believe, my views, how with yours. I'm willing to. And I'm not stubborn in the thing that, okay, you know what? If you actually make logical sense, okay, I agree. I was wrong. I would definitely 100% do that. In my defense, no one has really been able to accurately, logically counter my views, but I'm saying I would still be open.
I got slut-shamed by a group of my students last year. I did take about 15 minutes to go cry in the bathroom. They're probably between ages 13 and 15.
Kylie, you're a grown-ass woman in her 30s who has a position of authority over these kids. Why are you talking to 13 and 15-year-old kids about your sex life? So I am just the biggest slut. I take all the D's. Wait, did you just judge me? Kylie Brewer, probably. So let's check the scoreboard. You're a crash out who rage quits debates. You're a huge racist, and you're sexually inappropriate with children. Get off the internet.
I got slut-shamed by a group of my students last year. I did take... The reason I say white Americans have no culture is because most of the things that have become associated with white people were black inventions. White people love vanilla, but did you know that vanilla was actually invented?
Okay, white people love vanilla. It doesn't... This is what I said. This is what is tiring. No one even gives a shit who invented these shit. No one. Who's talking about, who invented vanilla? Who's talking about, who invented techno? Who's talking about that shit? No one gives a shit. Again, this is what she wants to do is rage bait.
The reason I say white Americans have no culture is because most of the things that have become associated with white people were black inventions.
I don't know how to break this to you, but you actually live in white culture. Almost every single one of our major institutions is a European invention. Everything from universities to hospitals to constitutional democracies, our philosophy, our art, our history, it's all European. Even the language that we are currently using to communicate with one another is European. The reason why so many black inventions became synonymous with white people, especially in America, is because white people are the majority of those who produce and consume things. Does that mean that they stole these things? No, of course not. It means that black Americans created something so excellent that it ended up becoming synonymous with the monoculture within America. Barbecue, house music, and vanilla isn't white, it's American. The same way that blue jeans, cell phones, and airplanes are American. Black people aren't stealing these white inventions when they're using them, they're just participating in the broader American culture. I know that participating in race baiting makes you feel good and gets you some attention. The reality is you're just trying to segregate everybody for no reason, and it's kind of weird.
The reason I say...
It's great. Black people invented things that other people enjoy. Let's be honest. Black people are enjoying other things that white people invented. It's an American fucking shit. You wanted strictly black shit? Africa. You wanted strictly white shit? Nordic? Sweden? I don't know. Like, there's getting less and less countries that are strictly white. Okay. But again, yeah, I don't know. Go to the Nordic countries. It's like,
Kylie Brewer, are you dumb as a box of rocks?
I'm a firm believer that white children, especially teens, need to be punished for racism, and very harshly that.
You were in the finish line. I was gonna let you off the hook. You were literally home free. Your comments were back on. I was canceling the war, and then you do this. And then you defend doxing children. I thought you were at least a little remorseful for it. I thought you were at least like, hey,
I read that, right? It was Mexican. They just invented the way to, mass produce it.
probably shouldn't have doxed those two 16-year-old girls. Well, apparently you're not. So Schmerg War back on. Kylie Brewer, fill up her comment sections, make her turn off everything. This dumb bitch. I was gonna let her off the leash. Also, we're having an anti-racism meetup at 8.
I'm a firm believer that white children, especially teens, need to be punished for racism. And very harshly at that, because there are tons of black children who haven't even made it to adulthood because of racist white people's behavior. There are people like Trayvon Martin or Emmett Till that have been murdered. Everyone's always saying,
You used two examples. I swear to God, like the low IQ.
oh my God, they're just teens, like they don't mean it. But those teens could also physically harm other people. They could commit acts of violence against other people because if they start to see black and brown children as subhuman, guess what they're gonna do? That leads to name calling and bullying until eventually assault and potentially life-threatening injuries from being beaten. There is no age at which we have to protect white children's feelings. Like, white children should be protected. I myself was not taught about racism at all. I didn't fully learn the extent to which the system was bad until I was in college. And that is not okay. That is not acceptable. Luckily, I was able to deconstruct because, again, I was raised in a MAGA household. I'm 23 years old. But a lot of white children...
I don't really believe that. I honestly don't believe that this woman was raised in a MAGA household. I really don't. Particularly since, I don't know, being Jewish, I don't really think the Jews are very MAGA oriented. But let's
and just become even more racist as they get older. So that's why it's so important to cut it literally out as soon as possible.
If she actually, this is my problem, right? If she actually cared about Black lives, if she did, okay, which I'm very skeptical, all right? If she actually did. Black victims killed by black offenders, 3,000. 3,000. By the 2023 FBI stat. Black victims killed by white offenders, about 300. If you actually care about black children, I think you talking about white people means fucking what? Honestly, stupid as shit.
After this incident, I will literally never let Kylie Brewer rest again. As long as I have a TikTok presence.
This guy's interesting. Not Postman is an interesting guy. He, you probably wouldn't check him out. So I just thought I kind of liked some of his things about when he was talking about her, but sadly, like the videos he made about her was pretty much TikTok banned. So that was annoying. But anyway, I just wanted to show you a bit of that woman who honestly was disgusting. She is a disgusting rage baiter, a race hustler. Another white person who thinks that they can be a white knight, white savior to the black community, to black people, a white savior, because they need that, right? The black community needs more white saviors, obviously. So I just thought it was interesting. I only eat ginger invented food. Is there so basically starving because we didn't invent anything? Was the potato a ginger thing? I don't remember. I remember those whole the potato famine, right? So was ginger a a white, I mean, was potatoes a white ginger people thing? I don't know. But yeah, I just wanted to show you a little bit of this, the insanity of race hustling, okay, by these white people. Plus, here's the thing, right? Black people aren't saying, "Oh, why are you so obsessed with us?" Right? Why are you so obsessed with black people? When she's constantly talking about black racism and black people, but because she's talking in a way that, you know, it condemns or targets white people, it's okay. It's okay. You're not obsessed. You know, you're right on. Protect her. Great. Awesome. All right. Here's this one. This is an interesting few videos.
I'm so afraid to have kids because what if, worst case scenario, what if I have a boy? I'm sorry, have you ever met a boy, like at any age? At any age? They're all obsessed with jacking off or violent things or violently jacking off. And I am not about to have a boy down the hall from me while I'm working tirelessly to pay the bills, to keep the roof over his head, while he's down the hall just jerking off to some horrible thing online. No, I don't want it. And I know this will really upset some boy moms, and they'll be like, that's not my baby boy. My baby boy doesn't do. Yes, he does. Yes, your baby boy will do that. It's inevitable because that's what they do. No thanks. I'm so afraid.
Where's your numbers for that? And it's like, okay, how are you going to have a child without the man? How are you going to have a child without the man? So now it's okay that you sleep with men you hate. But God forbid you have a child, a boy. This is the rhetoric that you hear so often. Notice her video has her flapping milkers out. It's like, yeah, she doesn't have a problem with showing her a whole lot of, showing off skin and like looking like all the tattoos and piercing and shit like that. Women like this is absolutely disgusting. It really is. And why don't you just not this is why I've said this. I don't mind women, particularly women like this, get out of dating. Please get out of the dating market. Please, because there will always be a stupid simp ass man that would definitely have sex with her. Definitely. And that's why I don't support all men. Because a lot of men are stupid ass shit. All right. They don't care how disgusting these women are. They don't. As long as they can, get it. But the problem is that that's not all men. Okay. Not all men are just flapping it to whatever. But I guarantee you, this is a woman that would attract said type of men. That's the problem with a lot of these women. They don't realize that, you know what? They complain about all these men so much, but the problem is it's not men. It's because you attract said types of men. There is about 160 million men in the U.S. alone, and you're only attracting those types of men. That says a lot about you. Says a lot about you. So I said this, where I'm a big supporter of women like this just getting out of the dating market completely. Please, we don't need single mothers, right? Because honestly, you look like you would be a single mother, right? You look like you would be a single mother. You will attract a shitty man that have sex with you, where you produce the boy you don't want, right? Becoming the shitty parent. So we don't need more of that shit.
I'm so afraid to have kids because what if, worst case scenario, what if I have a boy?
Oh my goodness, a literal fossil talking about some, I'm worried to have kids. I'm sorry, but I think it's a little bit too late for you. But you know what? I see this as absolutely good news, because imagine being born under this mother where she hates you just because you're a guy. That's it. That would be a horrible fate to be bestowed upon. Genuinely really sad stuff. But another thing I want to talk about is the comments. Because at the time that I was watching that video, there were a lot of supportive comments saying that what she was saying is perfectly fine. And
I've said this. I've had a few videos of women saying how if they have a boy, they would abort. It's saying that, oh, they do not want to have a boy. It's terrible having a boy. All this shit. Some of them saying that, you know what, they already have a boy and they regret it. Imagine that. Your own fucking mom. Right? Saying that she regrets having you because of your gender. Women are evil. Like, they're not. Again, one of the things why I create this channel is to break this narrative, break this propaganda. Women aren't sugar and spice and everything nice. They are terrible people. They have the capacity to be absolutely terrible people.
a good thing to say, which is genuinely really concerning because she's just being very blatantly sexist, right? And I don't understand how people can just watch this consciously and are like, yeah, I agree with you. But imagine if a guy said that, right? Nobody would agree with him. Literally nobody, not even dudes, I bet you. You know, and if there's anybody that does, genuinely, like, bro, please grow up. Anyway, what do you guys think? Peace. Recently, a creator called Frog the Alien called me a PDF after a video I made, and I wanted to ask you guys what you think. Let me roll the clip.
What if I have a boy?
Oh my goodness, a literal fossil talking about some, I'm worried to have kids. I'm sorry, but I think it's a little bit too late for you.
I'm sorry, calling a woman who looks like she's in her 20s a fossil and implying she can't have children anymore is really f***ing concerning. You know, like the check your hard drive type of concerning.
Calling me a PDF just because I made a joke that a person that is 31 years old looks a bit older and might not be able to have kids. We have genuinely lost the plot. Like, actually, I feel like these days, people just toss the word PDF when they disagree with somebody. It's really something. And another thing I want to point out is the fact that you did not watch my video. You did not even watch it fully and decided to hop on camera and make a full hate video. Like, at least watch the full video. Come on. Because in the video where you're calling me a PDF, you also defend the first girl by saying, oh, she's probably joking around and she's probably making that video because she doesn't want to have a boy that's really against girls. Which, yeah, if that's the reason why she was making the video, okay then, right? But
is that a good thing? That's not a good thing at all. What?
Making that video because she doesn't want to have a boy that's really against girls. Which, yeah.
A boy that's really against girls. What's the likelihood of that fucking shit? It's like, I've heard these fucking feminist women saying that I don't want to give birth to my, my abuser. What the fuck are you talking about, your abuser? This is the poison that's going on with women. Your abuser? Have you looked at the fucking numbers? The chance that you gave birth to a man that abuses women is honestly, oh my God, honestly not high. It's like, I don't know. I just find these women who think like this, right? Who think this kind of thing, okay? Where, okay, I'm giving birth to a boy that will harm a woman is absolutely asinine. I've always said this. I've said this before. The homicide thing, okay? The majority of violent crimes are committed by men. Yes. Not the same thing as majority of men commit violent crimes. Violent crimes are probably about, let's say, within a year, I believe, in some years, probably about 300,000. About 300,000. Comparing it to a population of about 160 million, that is less than 1%. Less than 1% of men. So to use the number of less than 1% of men to establish the majority of men, you are absolutely asinine. Um, I looked it up, right? It's hard to find an estimate. It's hard to find an estimate of how many men have abused women, because I guess there's no real, numbers for that. But some says is about 5% of women experience some form of, SV, physical violence, or sexual violence. So about 5% of women. Now, I'm not saying that's a small number, but that's not a big number, right? That'll probably equal about 6 million women. When I believe the female population is also around, 170 million. I just hate these fucking narratives.
If that's the reason why she was making the video, okay then, right? But if you actually watched Gabby's, the first girl's video fully, which I don't think you did, you would probably know that the whole video was her saying, I don't want to have a boy because they... too much. You did not even watch the full video of the first girl. Like seriously, if you're going to sit down and record yourself to make a rant about something, at least do the bare minimum of watching the full video. Alright? Anyway, talk to you later. Peace. So recently a creator called Frog the Alien called me a PDF, and I responded to her video by explaining why I believe that she was taking it too far by calling me a PDF and why I believe that she did not understand the original meaning of my video, right? Anyway, she made a response video to that response video, and this video might be a bit too long, but if you have good attention span, I hope you can go through the whole thing.
Check your hard drive type of concerning.
Calling me a PDF just because I made a joke that a person that is 31 years old looks a bit older and might not be able to have kids.
Hey everyone, today we're going to have a little discussion about something called context.
And it's really weird that this is a man, most definitely a man, dressing as a woman. So really, this guy is honestly already mentally disturbed. So why not hold these people accountable?
Yesterday I made a video calling out this creator named Liam for the way he treated this other creator named Gabby for a satirical skit that she did. This skit was meant to parody the traditional boy mom and point out the different ways that parents tend to assume the best out of their son.
Why the fuck are you... How do you know? How do you know that's what she did?
And the worst out of their daughters by reversing the roles.
I don't know where you pulled that conclusion out of, but that is literally not the original meaning of Gabby's video where she was, gagging about the thought of having a boy child. In fact, I will show you the original clip so everyone here can see it plain and simple.
I'm so freaking happy because what if, worst case scenario, what if I have a boy? Sorry, have you ever met a boy like at any age? You're all obsessed with jacking off or violent things or violently jacking off, and I'm not about to have a boy down the hall for me while I'm working tirelessly to pay bills, to keep the roof over his head while he's down the hall just jerking off to some horrible thing online. No, I don't want it. And I know it's a really obsessive boy mom's gonna be like, that's not my baby boy doesn't do that. Yes, he does. Yes, your baby boy will do that. It's inevitable because that's what they do. No thanks.
I literally do not know where you got the whole reversing the roles thing. That may be your interpretation of the joke, right? A joke can be interpreted many different ways, right? I get that. But to take your interpretation as the fact, right? The only truth, and then to use that truth that you've made for yourself to call me a PDF. Come on.
Her video was twisted and weaponized by a large group of cis men who wanted to push a narrative that this woman was just...
Cis men. You know this one is a fucking fag. You know this one is like a feminine man that believes he's a woman.
A raging misandrist. Liam ended up being one of those men because he didn't do the proper research before he made this video.
What if I have a boy?
Oh my goodness, a literal fossil talking about some, I'm worried to have kids. I'm sorry, but I think it's a little bit too late for you. I really wanted to point out the irony of the fact that she said that I twisted the original meaning of the video when she did the same thing to call me a PDF. I just wanted to point that out.
Now, even if Liam thought that Gabby was being completely genuine, it's still very sexist to use menopause as a way to reduce a 30-year-old woman. Not to mention, it's very creepy.
Now, this part of the video I do agree with. I did cross the line, and that joke was, quite offensive, and I really do apologize for that.
So, in my video, I may or may not have implied that Liam might like them a little too young. I went too far, and I apologize. Genuinely, I should not have said that.
Okay, I would have totally, accepted that apology, but explain this comment, right, where you say that you're not sorry. I just don't understand. You're like wishy-washy. I don't know what's going on.
Let's just hope you start a family before your 30s, Liam. We wouldn't want you to have to start dating below your age bracket.
Yo, why are you taking one of my jokes and making a
dating before he's 30? As a man, he could date well into his... This is a thing where it's the amazingness of being a man. I'm in my 40s, dating someone in their 20s. Ain't that terrible? I mean, to be honest, I've never really... That was not my goal, but, it shit happens. It happens. But, again, so what? I really dislike this whole age gap gatekeeping shit. Like, who the hell are you? Who the hell are you to tell adults, that they can't, that they can't date when two consenting adults want to do it? Who are you? And this is the same group, right? The same group that is honestly, say you're pro-choice. You're pro-choice? Are you, bitch? I don't think so. You're only pro-ideology. That's what you are. You're only pro-ideology. You're not pro-choice. You're pro-ideology.
Fictional character in your head of what kind of beliefs and ideas I would have, right? You're making a whole new Liam in your head and presenting that as the truth to your audience. I really think you're pushing it.
Although the part that really concerns me is how he didn't even really deny the misogyny. According to him, everything he said was just a harsh joke not to be taken seriously.
Except that's not what I was saying. I was saying that my jokes in my channels are harsh at times, not that I believe that the joke I made was not offensive, alright? Please do not spin my words to...
Lock the Bounty, what is up? It's closer to pro-curtain things. You know what? I mean, I don't disagree. But I see it as pro-ideology, which is basically that, right? Whatever current ideology you have. So, but I don't disagree. What's up? What's up, my brother?
Fit your agenda.
Oh, wait, Frog, wasn't Gabby's video a joke too? Exactly, you see the problem.
Was it a joke? I honestly, to be honest, I don't really think it's that much of a understandable joke. His joke, right? Being 30 and almost can't have kids. It's funny because that's really not true. Okay. You could still have kids. You're not a fossil at 30. But her joke that I don't want to have a boy because they're disgusting. It's like, I don't know.
I said I agree that my joke was offensive, right? And I really do apologize for that. But if you really say that the problem you had was with both sides' jokes, right? Oh, I don't like the joke that Gabby made and I don't like the joke that Liam made. Both of you guys are in the wrong. Then why are you defending Gabby's first joke by saying, no, it's a social commentary thing and you're not understanding it. And so I'm going to call you a PDF now. What are we doing?
Now, I want to clarify, I do not condone hate against men. A lot of people were confused about that in my last video. I do not support misandry.
Then why are you defending a person that would say stuff like this?
This is the same as a man saying that he doesn't want a daughter. Is it? He doesn't want a daughter because she's disgusting? This is a thing where there's a bit of a difference when men say they don't want a daughter. They want someone to pass on their name. In general, it would be a boy. Women saying that, oh, I don't want to have a son because he's going to be a bad person. That's drastically different. He's not predetermining the child's future. He's not. I mean, he's logically, gender bias in the sense that, yeah, he thinks that a boy will continue the name, a girl wouldn't. But he doesn't perceive that, oh, this boy is going to be a good person, this girl is going to be a bad person. She literally is pointing it out that a boy would be bad, would be a bad person. And a lot of these women are pointing out the boys will be bad boys, will be bad men.
Actions and your words do not align.
I am actually really glad Liam speaks up about things that matter to men. However, the way you choose to call out misandry as a cis man can affect the way the men in your audience view women.
Alright, now that is valid criticism, which I will take account for the next time I make videos like these. I do see a possibility where a guy watches videos like these and might be reinforced in their ideas to not like girls, which I think is a bad idea to have, right? Though my whole page is just me calling out BS I see on my For You page, and I'm really not trying to push some sort of idea of like, oh,
I have become the target of a hate campaign spearheaded by this creator after I brought attention to his misogynistic behavior. My videos have since been mass reported and taken down by his audience, and if my appeals aren't accepted, I could lose.
Does it look like he got a bit of a mustache?
My channel. So I'm uploading this to a second account, and I'm asking everyone, please watch the whole video, hear me out, and then draw your own conclusion. This is going to be a long and difficult discussion. 2 days ago, I responded to this video.
I'm so afraid to have kids because what if worst case
scenario to have children weaponizing age and menopause against her is not only sexist, it also reinforces the idea that women should.
Oh, so her sexist take wasn't a bad thing. Oh, so women can dish it out, but they can't fucking take it out of that woman's mouth. She literally said, I don't want to have a boy because he will be a bad person. He will be a disgusting person. Is that not fucking a sexist point of view? Yet your mentally stable ass, right? Your honestly confused, deranged, mentally unstable person think that, okay, him saying that she can't have kids when she's in her 30s is sexist. Yet you want to call that shit out. You didn't call out the first stupid bitch's sexist remark out. This is why trans people are mentally unstable. You can see it in their logic. It don't make sense. You see something when a man says something is sexist, yet the first bitch said something that was 100 times more sexist. Yet your mentally unstable self didn't see that? Absolutely delusional.
Should be ashamed of getting older, and they need to have children before it's too late. This gender-based insult, let's not call it a joke and downplay the impact that it has, normalizes predatory rhetoric. So,
did you not downplay what that woman said? You literally downplayed it. It's like your hypocrisy knows no bounds.
In response to Liam's video, I implied that someone might want to check his hard drive. In response to my video, Liam claimed that I was accusing him of being a pedophile because I disagreed with him. That if I'm
checking your hard drive means what then, bitch? Does that mean that? What are you checking it for? Are you stupid?
I'm going to throw around these speculations without being 100% certain beyond a shadow of a doubt that I am downplaying the severity of actual accusations. Yet, Liam uploaded this just 1 week before his video about me.
My baby.
You're what?
I'm mommy baby.
You're my baby?
Yes. And I'm fucking cute.
This guy is 35 years old, by the way. I know, that's crazy. You just wouldn't be able to tell. He looks so young and ripe, you know? I don't know, man. I feel like that is low-key some PDF behavior.
Liam made an assumption about another creator, accusing him based on his behavior and the connection it might have to pedophilia. The thing is, I kind of agree with Liam here. There is a possible connection. The problem is, I also see a possible connection between Liam's behavior and behavior often exhibited by pedophiles.
How?
If you ask me, I don't see a difference between Liam's own actions and the actions he's criticizing me for. Well, with two exceptions. First,
Wait, you didn't literally saying a woman is getting old is not the same thing as saying you want a woman, you want a girl, you want a 16-year-old girl, you want a 17-year-old girl. That's not the fucking same thing. Are you that level of low IQ? It's not the same thing. And to say that, yes, a grown-ass man is acting like a toddler or a child, it's not the same thing.
First, I never insulted a woman on the basis that she was a woman, and second, I never actually threw around the word pedophile or PDF. Yet, that's what
Yet, okay, the honestly, the gaslighting, the level of gaslighting is honestly stupid. You out of your mouth said you should check his hard drive. What are you checking the hard drive for? What are you checking the hard drive for? I really don't understand. Cooking recipes? What would you check the retro? This is why this is dishonest shit right here. Dishonest shit.
Liam told his audience that I was throwing around the word and causing it to lose all its meaning. My accusation was really just a low blow based on the fact that his insults toward that woman rely heavily on her age and her fertility. If you don't like it, then don't hate on women for aging. This is kind of...
Okay. Don't hate on women for aging, yet you hate on men for their gender. It's like you're defending someone that literally counteracts why you're defending that person. It's like you are purposely being stupid, right? You are purposely being stupid. This is why I said these types of people are mentally ill. They're purposely being stupid. You are trying to call out someone who's targeting a woman based on her gender, right? Her, I don't know what it is to be a woman. Yet you're defending someone that it's okay for targeting people on their gender. Stupid as shit.
Of a trend for
we don't hate women for aging. We make fun of women for having every possible advantage imaginable and throwing it away in the dumbest ways possible. 100% fucking facts. 100% facts. Men, this is a thing where men don't really, in general, right, make fun of women for aging. They don't.
Liam, by the way, almost every time he brings up women on his channel, he talks about how they victimize themselves, start gender wars, and push agendas. All of these buzzwords and dog whistles he knows will get some of the people in his audience really riled up.
This is a CPR dummy for men, and this is a CPR dummy for women. It doesn't exist.
Yes, it does, Phoebe. Literally, look right here. One simple Google search is all you had to do. That's literally it, bro. But instead you can't do that because you gotta make content to start a gender war in your comment section so you can make more money. I was saying that my jokes in my channels are harsh at times, not that I believe that the joke I made was not offensive, alright? Please do not spin my words to fit your agenda.
Liam responds to misandry because he should. I'm glad he's calling that behavior out. But he also allows misogyny to brew within his comments section, and he doesn't do a lot to correct.
I hate stupid people thinking that, oh, let me call out my comment section. Are you fucking stupid? These are other adults. These are other adults. It's like, this is a thing absolutely ridiculous.
So the creator that called me a PDF, Frog the Alien, decided to make her final response to this whole situation. And I contemplated if I should make this video or not because I did not want to stretch things out, but I decided that I had to because she decided to remove key details of this whole situation to paint me as a villain. Anyway, this video is a bit long, so if you have a good attention span, I'm sure you can go through it.
I have become the target of a hate campaign spearheaded by this creator after I brought attention to his misogynistic behavior. My videos have since been mass reported and taken down by his audience.
The villain, right? It's real good. All I did was try to clear my name of the whole PDF thing, because that's some really heavy stuff and you know it.
I'm so afraid to have kids because what if, worst case scenario, what if I have a boy?
I believe that...
I think it's stupid, right? I mean, like, to police your comment section, I think is idiotic. I really do. I've said this before. I've never deleted a comment. I don't delete comments. I don't care. Okay? If your comment is not there, it's YouTube. That is their prerogative. I don't care if you say terrible things about me. I don't really care. I don't care. I don't care if you disagree. I don't really give a shit. You're adults. If you want to show your bad behavior, you show your bad behavior. I don't care. Because honestly, I grew up in a generation where people were like, I had friends making racist jokes against me. I'm not sensitive to it. I'm not that sensitive to it. I don't give a shit what you say. Okay? I don't. So I don't really try to police other adults. Okay? Now, if you say something that's worth me making a video about, that's cool. That'd be awesome. But I don't really police the things you say.
Insulting this woman, saying she's too old to have children, weaponizing age and menopause against her is not only sexist, it also reinforces the idea that women should be ashamed of getting older and they need to have children before it's too late. This gender-based insult, let's not call it a joke and downplay the impact that it has, normalizes predatory rhetoric.
Which is why I apologized about it in my second video, yet you decided to remove that fact to paint me in a horrible light. And another thing is, if you're going to say that my joke is actually not a joke, but an insult, but Gabby's joke is just a joke, I don't know what to tell you. Come on.
So,
I literally said that. It's the hypocrisy.
response to Liam's video, I implied that someone might want to check his hard drive. In response to my video, Liam claimed that I was accusing him of being a pedophile because I disagreed with him. That if I'm going to throw around these speculations without being 100% certain beyond a shadow of a doubt, that I am downplaying the severity of actual accusations. Yet, Liam uploaded this just 1 week before his video about me.
My baby.
You're what?
I'm mommy baby.
You're my baby?
Yes.
On his behavior and the connection it might have to pedophilia. The thing is, I kind of agree with Liam here. There is a possible connection. The problem is, I also see a possible connection between Liam's behavior and behavior often exhibited by pedophiles.
First of all, I do admit that at the time, saying that Rahul Rai might be a PDF was the wrong thing to do. In fact, it was somebody in my comment section and my DMs that said, hey, dude, dropping the whole PDF thing so easily really downplays the whole seriousness of the situation. Which is why, after that video, and after the Korean video where I also say, hey, that dude's behavior is quite PDF-like, I decided to stop. I'm like, yo, you know what? That guy's right. It's low-key downplaying the seriousness of the topic. I should stop doing that. Which is why I stopped making videos like these, because I agree that, just dropping the whole PDF thing really downplays the word if you just keep using it again and again. The one thing I do want to ask is, how are you going to compare Rahul Rai fantasizing about nearly getting caught for texting a minor with me, joking about a girl looking old? Come on, what?
I don't see a difference between Liam's own actions and the actions he's criticizing me for. Well, with two exceptions. First, I never insulted a woman on the basis that she was a woman, and second, I never actually threw around the word pedophile or PDF. Yet, that's what Liam told his audience, that I was throwing around the word and causing it to lose all its meaning.
First of all, I apologized for the first part, once again, but you decided to remove that to paint me in a bad light. And second of all, yes, you did not say the word PDF, but let's not act like the people that are watching our videos are dumb. They understand a thing called context clues, and you heavily implied that I was a PDF, which still has the same effect.
My accusation was really just a low blow based on the fact that his insults toward that woman rely heavily on her age and her fertility.
And now you say your accusation, it's just a low blow. Come on. If you can say that you calling me a PDF is just a low blow, then I can just say that my jokes are all low blows. Everything's low blow. I say the woman looks old, it's just a low blow. Move on. Come on, be straight with your words.
Almost every time he brings up women on his channel, he talks about how they victimize themselves, start gender wars, and push agendas. All of these buzzwords and dog whistles he knows will get some of the people in his audience really riled up.
First of all, I only said that about Phoebe because it's true. That's literally what she does. Yet in your video, you're making it seem like I say that to every girl I talk about in this channel. And second of all, you make it seem like I only hate girls on my channel, when in reality, if you look at my channel for just 1 second, right? You can just clearly see that I just react to BS I see on my FYP. Man or women, I really could not care.
But he also allows misogyny to brew within his comments section, and he doesn't do a lot to correct.
You say that I allow these comments by turning a blind eye, except I don't. I try to delete these comments, except it's like playing a game of whack-a-mole. If I delete one, another one pops up. And what can I do? All I can do is just make it clear on my channel and to my followers.
That's the thing where I've said this, where I'm policing my words, my actions. And I say, hold me accountable for what I say. Right? For what I say and what I do. But that is it. Okay. I am true to my words. That's all that matters. I don't give a shit what you say in the comments. I don't care what you say in the chat. I don't. Okay? We're adults. You want to troll? Go for it. You want to hate? Go for it. I don't give a shit. What the hell is like this is the thing where if you can't handle social media, don't go on social media. Don't. Make your shit private, right? Make your shit private. Because if you can't handle people who say crazy shit, then don't be on social media. You're just absolutely ridiculous. I just want to show you that how hateful women are and how mentally disturbed and illogical trans women are. So you want to see the real hate campaign? Let me spin up my cell phone bot network. Really? You're crazy. You're crazy. Yeah, I mean, again, they're mentally disturbed men, right? They're mentally disturbed men. I mean, he thinks that like, oh, you know, the comment section should be a great place. You're stupid. You're ridiculous. I just don't really care for people like that. I really don't. Thank you, my brother. Thank you. I mean, like, I'm a big geek, right? I'm a big geek. I love geeky shit. Right now is like I'm trying to build my money up. So I haven't been adding to that collection, but like, man, once I get to a certain good financial spot, I'm going to be adding more shit to it, more shit to the fire, because I really want to complete my Avengers collection, and I want an X-Men collection as well. So, but I'm poor, you know. I mean, I'm like, you know, I don't get paid from YouTube, right? This is just a fun thing I do, a hobby. So I have a job that, you know, I'm slowly stacking that money up, right? Stacking that money up. So it's going to take me a while, but it's okay. I'm not going to cry about it. I have a lot of shit anyway, so I'm not all that fuss about it. So hope you make it, dude. The physical media market is going. I'm also exactly right. I agree with you, right? I've been hearing what they're doing to games, and that's going to be some crazy shit. So I definitely want to buy. More. You know, more great game grades, right? I'm definitely want to get some more. So I'm definitely a big. I'm going to be a big future collector of those. I definitely want to buy graded games. So, I'm trying to think. Seeing if there's anything else. I think I'll end that up for tonight. I mean, I already went through the videos I had planned. Locke, thank you for being here. That's it for tonight, guys. That is it for tonight. You guys are amazing. Evil Eddie, I love you, my brother. Thank you for being here. Red Door, Laughing Man. So keep going. Yeah. That's basically saying that. It's basically implying that you're a PDF. So it was ridiculous. Thank you, my brother, for being here. Guys, if you guys could, please subscribe if you guys haven't. Please like the video. Please check out my other videos if you guys could as well. All right. Pandora, thank you for being here. Big Bars, Laughing Man, Red Door, I love you guys. You guys are amazing. Self-Made, thank you guys for being here. All right. You guys are amazing. Music by this amazing creator. Check him out if you like the music.
Everybody's carrying something inside, something they bury, something they hide, a dream that went nowhere, a love that went wrong, a place they once thought that they'd be.
I love ya. Hope you guys have a good Saturday. That is it for tonight. You guys are amazing. Thank you for all the love, for all the support. That's it for tonight. Later, guys. Peace.